truly researching this energy, researching it with astrology, researching it with historical research, and also, really meditating and intuitively trying to understand what is occurring. And this may play out to be one of the most powerful weeks that we will experience in our lifetimes. And that is because this week we are experiencing the lunar eclipse in Cancer. But before I get to that lunar eclipse, there are a couple other things that are occurring that will kind of help to interpret how this energy is going to play out in the phases. Because this is an unfolding energy. This is how one event will feed into another and then into another in ways of our transformation. And it's important to understand that. It's important to understand that in a lot of ways we will feel this push and pull of the Capricorn and Cancer axis within us. But understand that both Capricorn and Cancer are feminine energies. So it does not matter what is playing out. What matters is that we are being called to respond to the events with our feminine being. And we all have the feminine within us. And that feminine being is the need to nurture ourselves, to protect our families. It is the essence of our homes and our souls. And that is the most important theme of this week. But we start off early in the week with a series of alignments with the planets, which will bring a culmination of events. And I cannot go through the beginning of what's going on without looking to what has recently occurred on a collective level and what is being played out. Obviously, there are events that are occurring which are focused around power. And that is what Pluto is bringing us, is the ultimate consequence of power. And Saturn is bringing us a restructuring of our government, of our relationships and our connections to other governments. It is a change that needs to occur in order to end karmic cycles that we find ourselves in, both personally and within our country and our structures. On Monday and Tuesday, we have a mix of energies that include a sun sextiling Neptune, which is a nice energy, but it can also be somewhat of a truth-seeking energy. Again, reminding you that Sun is in Capricorn and it is searching for that spiritual wisdom in which Neptune can help. And Neptune plays a really important role in everything that's occurring because Neptune is our ability to be empathic, to be compassionate, to be forgiving, to seek what is spiritually right. But Neptune can also be where we have built illusions in our life. Neptune can also be where we escape our realities. And when the sun meets Neptune with this energy, a sextile is not quite simply a knowing or an existing, but it is a calling to pay attention. It is a calling to a potential, but you have to recognize it first. It does not land in your lap like a trine. It is something that you have to learn, and therefore are forever grateful for the lessons and the truths that it reveals. And along with that, the sun is also in a cazimi with Mercury. And may I remind you that Mercury is neither associated with the feminine or the masculine. It is simply a messenger. And it is the only god that was allowed to communicate both with the underworld and the heavens. And so there is a connection to the shadow side of self and the shadow side of the collective and our planetary energies. And Mercury wants to talk about it. Mercury wants to bring a voice to what it discovered in the past several months. And it's approaching Pluto. So it's telling you what it found in its tour of the underworld. This goes back to that Mercury in Scorpio, where we probably learned a lot, but this is where it really gets revealed. And at the same time that that is occurring, we also have a quincunx between Mars and Uranus. And this energy, Mars in Sag, quincunxing Uranus in Taurus, well, that is a fight. That is a retaliation. That is a reaction, and that will bring consequences, which we will see played out with the eclipse. So the beginning of the week is really going to be centered around our information. And it is important to understand that where you get your information may have to be questioned. And questioning our media sources and what is being released to the public. Remember, this is all culminating in Cancer. It is that of the people. It is defending the people that are in service, the people that are serving the people in power. And so a lot will come to light as far as the consequences for giving power to the wrong people, or giving a sense of retaliation to the wrong people. And also remember that Cancer is an energy of protecting our homes and ourselves, and it is also the ultimate form of patriotism and devotion. And so it sounds like a lot could possibly be going on as this week unfolds. And what we will learn might change our minds altogether. Because as we also move into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we are dealing with a Jupiter conjunct the South Node and sextile the North Node. And so Jupiter with the South Node is the call to look at spiritual wisdom. It is the call to understand Jupiter can be a review of the overindulgence that we have participated in. This could be the bills arriving after Christmas, oh my God, why did I do that? Or I didn't think that through. There could be surprising things that happen in our personal lives that kind of remind us that certain things need to be broken and released and let go of. That is the South Node. Habits, beliefs, worn out structures that we have in our environment. Jupiter wants you to let go of what is not serving you in the name of true achievement, of being on your own path. This is what you have to let go of in order to climb the mountain in Capricorn. And please remember that the ultimate mountain to climb in the third decan of Capricorn is that of spiritual wisdom and understanding. So as certain events play out in the media and in the collective, Jupiter wants to prepare you to look at it from a higher perspective and to understand that certain things need to happen in order to correct what shouldn't be anymore. And as well, we have a moon conjunct Venus in Aquarius, and the moon does not like Aquarius. And Venus also has a hard time expressing herself in Aquarius. Although Venus can, and so will the moon, be extremely detached emotionally, it can also be extremely detached financially. And so this could play out on the financial stage collectively. And it could be a real rebalancing of seeing how materialism and greed has served us to this point and transforming it. And Venus wants you to detach from the physical possessions that hold you back. And this is also a good indication of what we are being prepared for, because later on in the week, Uranus will move direct. And Uranus is always a big surprise. Uranus is always unpredictable. It is somewhat irrational, but it serves its purpose because it is breaking things up in order to achieve greater freedom. Always with Uranus, it is in the need for freedom that we respond, even if it is only a temporary need. And that leads us into the lunar eclipse in Cancer at 20 degrees, which is awfully close to this conjunction point, which we will feel 2 days later, although I promise you, you have been experiencing it. You have felt the ramifications begin with the Gemini full moon. And this is bringing the Gemini full moon information, startling occurrences. This is areas in our life where something happened suddenly that we didn't see coming. And it made us question a lot. It made us question our trust. It made us question our paths and our purposes. And this lunar eclipse is the culmination of that. And the energy that plays out, considering this is encompassing as well the stellium in Capricorn at 22 degrees, is Pluto, Saturn, Ceres, the Sun, Mercury, the Moon. And so this is quite honestly, all players are on the field. This is a need for great change and transformation, and this is the moment that it begins. This is a culmination which will force all of us to bear witness to maybe catastrophes or events, sudden events we were not expecting in the name of retaliation, and the consequences for those. And then the questioning of why, and how do we protect ourselves, and what serves better, and what have we learned. This is very heavy energy in the collective. It is extremely dense. And there is a need to understand that your body and your chakras are giving you clear and precise communication in how to move. And so as this culminates in Cancer at 20 degrees, opposing Pluto, opposing Uranus, it is pulling all of these energies together. And some are in opposition, and we have a square to Eris right now. This is a moment collectively where the feminine part of us, the compassion and the empathy, stands up and she says, enough is enough. We cannot go on like this anymore. Our morals are not right. Our structures are not right. We have given power to the wrong people. And I don't much care what anyone's political agendas or political beliefs or religious beliefs. Believe me, this has nothing to do with what you believe in. And please, in the need for compassion and empathy, understand that it is not a reason to attack our fellow humans, because this energy can bring about the need to protest, to fight, to defend yourself. But those actions may be a little bit extreme for what needs to truly occur. This is a reckoning of our shadow side. And this entire year's theme has been about doing the shadow work within us and the karmic consequences that we have to face in order to change old, outdated patterns and thought processes that hold us back. Because when you see the energy built up in Capricorn and you understand the need to move, to grow, to climb the mountain, well, you have to get right with your shadow self. And so over the past year, we have been exposed to areas in which we have held ourselves back. If we are overly attached to materialism, we are suffering those consequences. If we are not responsible and structured in our personal finances, we are experiencing the consequences. How we give and receive love and how we choose to experience connecting to others, we will have to deal with the consequences. But the consequences will not be minor. It will not be a small blip in the radar. It's going to be much bigger and much powerful, and it's going to guide us into transforming how we deal with this energy and how we need to go within and understand and nurture ourselves and others and be compassionate and care for others. Right now, it is so important to understand that what you're seeing played out on our earth, like the fires in Australia, the devastation that may occur, international tensions building as Mars is in Sag, and how that will culminate and where it could culminate so badly if we look at it from a place of reaction. This is important. humans, for the most part, other than a very few of us, are not designed at a cellular level to react. And yet our outside environments have caused us to create this reaction within us in order to keep us safe. And that is where the ego comes to play. So in many ways, what we have needed activated so strongly in ways that would keep us alive and help us to survive is no longer needed. And so we will have to bear witness to where egos, inflated egos for the wrong purpose, are causing us harm and pain instead of seeking survival. And we are all bearing witness so that collectively we can come together with empathy, with compassion for our other humans. It is somewhat the dissolving of the ego that is occurring. And so there will be some that have an awfully hard time settling their egoic reactions and understanding that it is much better to sit and think and involve mind, body, and spirit into major decisions and how to achieve the ultimate goal, which is our survival. And it will be certain people within the collective that will abuse their power and will use their ego in what may be an illusion of protection and defense, and it will ultimately be the catalyst for much needed healing. I want to read you the Sabian symbols this week. I find them to be extremely profound, as they always are, but knowing the culmination at 22 degrees at this time in Capricorn, it is important for us to understand the lessons that we are learning and how this is changing our lives and transforming ourselves on such a profound level. Capricorn at 22 degrees. By accepting defeat gracefully, a general reveals nobility of character. The realization that one may grow through defeat as well as, and perhaps more than, through success. While the preceding symbol referred to the drive toward success in culturally organized collective endeavors, this one presents us with the possibility of turning apparent external defeat into an inner spiritual achievement. We have recently seen how totally vanquished nations have leaped forward and achieved great economic success. Much depends on the quality of the will and the inner integrity of the person. At this second stage, we find what seems to be a paradox, but the spiritual life is always paradoxical. The great sinner can become the most renowned saint, and a medieval pope a criminal. What matters most is always inner strength. So we have that playing out along and opposing a lunar eclipse in Cancer at 20 degrees. And the Sabian symbol A man dressed as a groom riding upon a spirited horse. It indicates a person of general aptitude, quick perception, steady mind, and able body, who in some secondary place will serve the cause of truth, may be as a teacher, or as a priest, or one connected with the church. Success in life is shown, but not preeminence. The life, while useful, will be obscure. There is such a great duality at this time. And how the events play out will determine the consequences and the potential for healing. And so, although we don't have much that we can do at this point collectively, in our personal lives, it is important to remember this week that people are being transformed. People are bearing their consequences at this time. People may be coming from a place of desperation, of anger, of the upheaval of these deep emotions that are being brought to the surface. And not only do we have to master our emotions and realize how important it is to not react to such provoking energy, but instead to go within, to understand that what is being played out collectively is a part of what is within all of us. And it is by changing the structures within, by becoming more empathetic, by becoming more compassionate to the fellow man, we ourselves are brought to spiritual wisdom. It is also very important this week to know that what is occurring, things that are being removed, changes that are being made, are on the precipice of a breakthrough. It is in order to correct our karmic cycles. It is in order to get us on our true paths. It is in order for us to find our truths. Because none of us are going to get through this energy through the end of March and come out the same. We will all be affected with this energy. Our lives will look much different in the upcoming 3 months due to these changes. And so allow the changes. Release what needs to go. Build upon things that you feel bring you love. Do not buy your children more toys. Spend time with them. Understand that the material needs are far less superior to the emotional needs that we have at this time. And the universal laws that we must comprehend in order to move and grow are quite simple. As above, so below. What you feel on the inside is a representation of your outer world. And if you are experiencing chaos and pain, it is because you have unresolved traumas that will be brought to the surface, not to hurt you all over again, but for you to release them. So do not avoid your feelings this week. Do not avoid the tough conversations because they will bring healing. Do not avoid connection to others, but embrace it. And I'm going to leave on this note. It was in January of last year when I really started to research some of this energy collectively and understand it, that I was led to really get back to basics, and look at some of the spiritual laws that exist. And it does not matter what religion you are associated with. It is just the basic laws of the universe. It is a universal Tao. And we must all honor it because it is what we are structured on. And it brought me to an ancient proverb on defense. To defeat an angry man, you attack him with meekness. To defeat an evil man, you attack him with goodness. To defeat a miser, you attack him with generosity. And to defeat a liar, you bear the truth. I hope that in the next 3 to 6 months, as this energy culminates and we move through the changes that we need to make, that everyone can understand that reacting to evil with evil is never an answer. That defeating anger with anger is never the answer. And so internal struggles and pain that you're feeling right now must be met with compassion and love and nurturing. And the understanding that humankind is the greatest investment. Humanity is where we need to look in times of peril. I wish you all a wonderful week. I send much love and healing vibes to all of you.